Hey Carson, it's Poppin' GT with another story. Today's story is about the tale of a green turtle and his life in the bay. And this is the green turtle. His name is Gus. And this is his friend. She's a boxfish, and her name is Dot. And we're gonna hear about both of them in the story. Okay? It was early morning, and Gus the green turtle was hungrily eating seagrass in the shallow blue waters of the Caribbean Sea where he lived. Dot and Spot, the baby boxfish, who looked very much alike, played together. There's Dot and Spot right there. Nearby, garden eels swayed gently in their holes. Those are the garden eels back there. Pop and GT see the garden eels whenever we're diving. At the sound of splashing, Gus looked up. Coming through the breaking waves was Tilly, the hawksbill turtle. During the night, she'd made a trip up the beach and dug a nest in the dry sand. In it, she had laid 150 eggs, then covered them up with sand using her flippers. At dawn, having used the last of her strength to spread sand to hide her nest, she was now heading back out to sea. Her eggs would remain out of sight, protected below the surface of the palm-fringed beach for 60 days. The tiny turtles would then hatch and dig their way up and out of the nest in a mass of flapping flippers before rushing down to the sea. Gus knew that the night they hatched would be a fun one and hoped he'd be there to see them. Pop and GT, we see that here on St. Croix, and we're going to show you that someday. Laughter suddenly filled the water around him. A boat offering trips to swim with turtles had tied up to a buoy, and as Gus watched, a mass of flailing legs and arms appeared in the water above him. There were humans, and Gus could tell by their shrieks and pointing fingers that they were thrilled to see him. The tour guide held a bag with small bits of fish and was using them to attract more turtles. Gus knew that he and the other green turtles were healthier eating seagrass, but they'd grown used to having fish brought to them every day and now expected it. Gus felt hands on his shell holding him back. He didn't like it and pulled away with a flick of his flippers. He knew by the high-pitched voices and the flurry of bubbles that the humans were excited. He was sure they'd been told to just observe and not chase or touch. Was that a bit of fish? Gus opened his mouth to nibble it, but it suddenly disappeared. Gus realized it was someone's finger. He didn't want to eat fingers, so he was very glad it had moved away just in time. Pop and GT never touched the turtles, but we always like to see them. With the snorkelers back on their boat, Gus returned to the seagrass and the sandy sea floor. He was quite tired out. He rested for a moment, letting the movement of the waves push and pull him. He wasn't the only one rocking to and fro in the water. There was also some garbage. Gus felt sad. But what was this? Spot, the baby boxfish, was darting anxiously this way and that. "What's wrong?" asked Gus. He looked around. "Where is Dot?" A plastic bag was floating upwards, and it was making strange jerky movements. Gus peered closer. "Oh no," he exclaimed. "Dot is in the bag, and she can't get out. She's in trouble." Gus grabbed the handle of the bag in his mouth, and as it opened, his grateful little friend swam free. "Gosh," thought Gus, "plastic in our oceans is very dangerous. I wish there wasn't any." You can see Dot coming out of the bag right there. Just then, two divers swam past. You see the two divers? That looks like GT and Papa right there. They carried mesh sacks and wore gloves. One grabbed the plastic bag that was still floating upwards and stuffed it into a sack. They were cleaning up the ocean floor. They picked up some plastic cups, empty snack packets, plastic straws, and even some old balloons. Some humans must have enjoyed a party on the beach, thought Gus, then let their garbage blow into the sea. He knew that turtles and other sea creatures often get sick after eating plastic, making a mistake that it was for food. He was thankful that the divers loved his bay as much as he did and were making it safe and clean and beautiful again. And Papa and GT go out and collect garbage underwater too. Well, there's more of the book, but I'm going to let Mama and Dada read that to you, okay? So we hope you enjoy Dot and Gus, the green turtle. We love you. See you later.